Barack Obama, the former president of the United States, made an address to black men in regards to the presidential campaign of Kamala Harris and their lack of support for the first black woman to become president of the United States. Part of the issue with Barack Obama addressing black men is Obama didn't receive the type of experience that African American descendants of slaves have received in the United States of America. That's first and foremost. Secondly, Barack Obama did absolutely nothing for black Americans while he was the president of the United States. What he did do was he chastised black Americans every opportunity that he got when he had the platform of the United States in the world. And as well as chastising black Americans, he also, when black American males were killed and shot by police, he did not defend or represent African American males at all. In fact, he used that as an opportunity as well to chastise the black American males. Barack Obama has no credibility with black America. And this is what he's seen in response to his address to black American males.
You as a person, and you're coming up with all kinds of reasons and excuses. I've got a problem with it. Because part of it makes me think, I'm speaking to men directly, part of it makes me think that, well, you just aren't feeling the idea of having a woman as president. And you're coming up with other alternatives and other reasons for that.
And let's stop right there. When addressing black men, right, with that, you gotta come correct. When addressing black men with that, you have to come correct. Why? Because black men have historically been the most inclusive when it comes to women, empowering women. Black men have always historically included black women in powerful positions. Let's consider the Black Panther Party of self-defense as an example. In the 1970s, white women were fighting for their rights, right, for equality. Black women were the leaders of the strongest and most predominantly well-known organization in the United States, which was the Black Panther Party for Self-Defense. It was the most powerful organization in the black community. The Black Panther Party of Self-Defense appointed a chairwoman in that time. Was there some pushback from black males? Absolutely. Because black males felt like they was trying to reclaim their manhood at that time, right? So they wanted to be men for their women. But at the same time, they were also inclusive and made one of the first women the chairwoman of the Black Panther Party for Self-Defense. Her name was Elaine Brown.
Singing on bullhorns in certain areas where breaks are being took, singing to Mexican American farm workers, bye bye Blackbird. You have people that are armed with weapons. You have all kinds of, you have a much more civil confrontation that is being faced. Everyone knows the United Farm Workers Union has remained and has always been a nonviolent organization, and yet violence of that nature is being perpetrated against them. I think the situation is so serious that it calls for this kind of move.
We are recognized internationally, and we advocate that all black people in America are taught what politics is all about and what our history is all about, so that we can have self-identity and we can know where our strength is, we will know our enemies, and we will know our friends.
The second thing that I want to address about this campaign is the reparations question. Black people require reparations in this campaign, and it's a non-negotiable. Black people want reparations for the descendants of slaves. Right? Black people also want reparations for the war on drugs, as black people were supposed to be a protected class, as a vulnerable class in the United States. And drugs was brought into black communities, and mass incarceration extended from that, which Joe Biden is one of the architects of the mass incarceration of black men. Reparations is a non-negotiable. What we see Kamala Harris doing is saying no to black people in regards to their demand for reparations, right? Anytime a politician says that reparations needs to be studied, when instead of saying that they are going to put forth a bill before Congress to get reparations approved, that means they're telling you no.
What's your stance on reparations? We all know that America became great, off the backs of free black labor. How progressive are you on making it a priority and righting America's wrongs? It's understood that you are running for president for all people of America. Asking for specifics for black communities doesn't mean no, don't do for others. But black Americans are heavily asked to vote Democrat in every election for over half a century, with very little in return. What are your plans to address these very important issues and change that narrative? Thank you.
I appreciate that. Thank you. And thank you for your work. So to your point, yes, I am running to be a president for all Americans. That being said, I do have clear eyes about the disparities that exist and the context in which they exist, meaning history, to your point. So my agenda, well, first of all, on the point of reparations, it has to be studied. There's no question about that.
The answer that she is giving to the people is no, right? There is nothing else that has been studied more in the United States than black Americans and black history. It's interwoven into the fabric of American history. Black history represents the slavery and the slave culture, which gave the United States the economic stronghold and surplus that catapulted it to a world power. This is the reason why so many different nations and different immigrants want to come into the United States. So the question I have for everyone is, how many people agree that they would be supporting slavery? Slavery produced cotton, and cotton was king, right? Which gave the United States their surplus. And this is the reason why everybody, all of these immigrants want to come into the United States to receive that surplus that was generated from the slave culture of the United States, right? The migrants come into the country and they receive the benefits that are withheld from blacks. And this is one of the things that Kamala Harris is responsible for, as well as Joe Biden and his administration. They are replacing blacks, the black labor force, with migrant workers. Black people should not have to work for white establishments anymore, right? Slavery paid for that already. And that is what is being missing in this discussion. A lot of the migrants come into the United States and pour out the resources because they work hard and they take those resources into their countries and they build up their homes and their properties on their homeland, right, which is taking the money out of the United States altogether. And that's what hurts the United States. But it also hurts black Americans more because black Americans don't have a place to escape to. They don't have a home outside of the United States that they could build up. Businesses in the United States are choosing simultaneously to hire migrant workers. So it's not just the politicians that we need to focus on. We need to focus on all of these organizations and businesses that are employing migrant workers. And we need to tax them. We need to go see them And we need to hold them accountable for their betrayal as well, between the Republicans and the Democrats. They all are bad for Black Americans. Reparations for slavery, that's a non-negotiable for both parties. When bargaining for our demands, we shouldn't hold Kamala Harris to the fire that we are not holding Donald Trump by saying, oh, Kamala Harris is not going to do this, this, and that, so I'm going to go with Donald Trump, without saying to Donald Trump, we need to hear that you're going to do reparations. The only party that I see talking about that they are willing to use reparations on their platform is the Green Party. So the Green Party is the only party that Black people should be actually listening to right now. My name is G.S. Brooks of the At Risk Movement, and I approve this message.